Welcome to another episode of Silver Linings Talk Show. We are so excited to have with us today Shell Sawyer, a divorce financial specialist, and maybe even her father is joining us because a thunderstorm is kind of passing through. So if you hear a little rumble, it's Dad. Because they used to watch them together,
Yes.
is what I understand, and they bring good feelings. So welcome.
Thank you so
Thank you
much
for
for
joining
having
us.
me. I appreciate it. Yeah, it's nice to be here.
Tell us a little bit about who you are and what you do.
Yeah, so I'm, like Lynn said, I'm Shell Sawyer. I'm a Certified Divorce Financial Analyst, a mediator, and a personal divorce guide. I also do a little bit of financial recovery coaching. So I help people make good decisions in their divorce.
This is going to be a very interesting conversation to have today.
Yeah.
Hi, everybody. You ladies look so beautiful, by the way, today.
Oh,
So do you.
Yeah.
Must be,
So-
we're trying to overpower the rain.
Yes.
Yeah. I don't have any rain here. I have sunshine in Charlotte, North Carolina.
Send it our way.
Yeah, please send it our way.
But let's talk about divorce statistics. Gray divorce. People can be happy, don't have to stay in a toxic relationship, which can be a silver lining. I know it was for me. It was tough to go through, but it was for me. So let's hear the statistics.
Yeah, so first marriages, the statistic right now is about 41%. A little lower than in the past, right? I think that might be because maybe some of the younger generations aren't getting married
Oh, yeah. I
as
didn't
early
even
as
think about
we
that.
did. Yeah.
That's true.
Yeah, and 34% of those are considered great divorces, and there are people over 50 that are getting divorced.
Because they have gray hair?
Because I think so. That's where it came from.
that-
Like,
that
I know, right?
That kind of sounds a little
Gray
insulting.
skies.
It does, right? It does.
Yeah, I like that, Diane, gray skies.
Yeah, it's gray skies.
Is that more like empty nesters, kind of, going
Yeah.
through like a second phase in their lives where they're... Do you think that could potentially be because they have lived their lives for their children and not for themselves
Yes.
in a way?
Yeah, I think that's a big part of it, right? And then now their children are grown and they're heading into retirement, right? And thinking about what does this next stage look like? And do I want to stay with my husband, my wife,
You know,
right,
something
during
that
this
was
stage?
something my husband and I always thought was so important is having us time through our marriage.
important. Yeah.
You know, it's
need
okay
that.
to leave the kids home with a sitter because they don't necessarily want to do what you're doing, right?
Right.
So spend quality time together because you need to grow together as well with your family.
And I think that's
As a
awesome,
couple.
Lynn, because I think people forget to do that, right? Because kids are so hard, and they have so many activities going on nowadays, right? That they forget about this
Yeah.
couple, that they are.
And all of a
Yeah.
sudden you're in your 50s and you have nothing in common because you've just spent so much time committed to family and children and not your relationship.
Right.
And I think that's part
Maybe
of
they
it.
didn't change together.
Yes.
Yeah.
But that's where, the benefit of if people can do counseling and couples counseling. We
Yes.
definitely see that
Yes.
a lot is people wanting to see if they can find that space together again, because so often you hear people say, I feel like we're just roommates.
Right.
Like we're
so common.
ships passing. So I would like to know, because I know you have personally gone through a divorce.
Yes.
So I wanted to, see what you could share about just your own experience and perspectives about marriage and divorce.
Okay. I think that's great. I went through my own divorce. It was really hard for me. It was something I didn't want, but I was kind of facing, and I was very depressed during the time that I was going through divorce. And here I was having to make good decisions for not only myself, but also my daughter, right? And I felt it very difficult because my brain was foggy. I had wished there was somebody by my side that could help me along the journey. So once the fog cleared after my divorce, I decided that I wanted to do something to help others make it through. So I do mediation, which is couples, but I also do one-on-one coaching to be someone's hand to hold, shoulder to lean on, and help with the finances, right? Make sure they understand what they own and what they owe. But it's a hard thing to go through, right?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Even when you are the person who initiates,
Yeah.
you know.
I'm glad you said that, 'cause it's
hard
true.
for everybody.
Yeah, it is.
It's not an easy decision, and it's a very difficult process, especially when children are involved. And we'll talk a little bit about that after.
Yeah.
Well, I think you bring an important point. You felt, so alone.
I did.
When you were going through the process. So after your divorce, how did you start kind of rebuilding? You went through a very traumatic experience,
Yes.
and I believe you had mentioned, it was pretty daunting.
Yeah.
So
Almost depressing.
yeah,
Right? Yeah, you
and,
feel
and it's
depressed.
you're kind of stunned for a bit, and I know you probably don't get right up and say, okay, I'm ready to
No.
start over.
Yeah.
So, what do you think are the key professionals for people to have available if they're going through the same thing? Like, who did you plug into, or who do you think people should plug into to get themselves replugged into life?
Yeah, I love that question, Lynn. I feel a real key player for me was my therapist. Having a therapist by your side, it's a roller coaster ride. But having them to talk to, especially if you feel alone, right?
Sure.
Yeah, and it's hard, especially, I found one of the most difficult parts was like after I got my divorce too. It was like when I went from spending 24/7 with my daughter, right, bringing her everywhere, and now I was sharing 50-50 custody with someone. And so I didn't see her, some days up to 5 days, right? And that was so hard. It was hard at the beginning, but then I started to figure out my me time, right? Now I could do stuff that I hadn't been able to experience before, whether it was hobbies, whether it was going to the gym now, because I could, right?
So the gym might not be a professional
No, it might not be
thing, but it's a
professional.
thing
Yeah.
that you maybe were able to plug into differently than you were.
Yeah, any other
prior to.
professionals that could help in the process of kind of wrapping up a divorce and stepping into your single life?
Yeah, divorce recovery coaching.
Divorce recovery.
Yeah, there's a lot of divorce recovery coaches out there. I think there's many divorce coaches. It's a profession, and some help you through the process. Myself, I am a divorce coach and a certified divorce financial analyst, so I kind of blend those two together, marry those two, for lack of a better word, right? A funny word for this
Marriage after
conversation.
divorce.
But but and help people along the way and hold their hand, and then like when you're getting into that other stage, there are divorce recovery coaches to help with that as well.
That's a
and
great
keep that therapist
asset.
always by your side.
Yeah,
Yeah.
two great assets to, share with viewers.
Yeah.
They may not know that there's a such thing as a divorce recovery coach.
Yeah, I hear that all the time. Even when someone's talking to me, they're like, I didn't know there was such a thing as a CDFA, Certified Divorce Financial. I didn't know there was such a thing as a certified divorce coach. And they're there to help you, right?
Yes.
Whether it's weed through your finances, whether it's the emotional aspect of this, we call it a roller coaster ride. It really is. Some days you feel good, other days you don't, right? And it's like trying to manage that.
And I think also you're in a unique position that when you have gone through something yourself,
Yes.
there's that true ability to step into the empathy because you can tap into like what your own experience was or know what feeling someone might have, or almost you might know, like, I know this is coming.
Yes.
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 And I'm gauging that because I'm expecting it.
Yes. Yeah, that is a unique perspective to have.
Yes.
And potentially these positions exist due to the fact that the divorce rates were so high for a while. And as you had mentioned, the younger generations, Gen Z, millennials really weren't or aren't getting married
Yeah.
at a higher rate. So
Or
it
even
younger
later, in
ages.
younger ages,
Yeah,
right?
and
Like
it
the
makes-
boomers maybe
so
did,
it
or-
maybe makes sense.
Yes.
That these positions exist
Yes.
currently.
And
I
as
want
you
to
go
hear
in-
about your book.
Oh,
Yes,
Diane,
we
so
gotta
glad you
get to
stepped
the
in.
book, girl.
The juicy
I
stuff.
want to know who the book's for. I went through divorce. I had no books. I did a wing it thing, and I wish I had a book. I wish I had help going through it. So tell us some things that the readers could take from your book.
yeah. So this book, I called it You Are Not Alone, because this is how I felt when I was going through a divorce, is very alone. And I hear that so often from so many people. And I want to tell them that they're not, right? There are these professionals here to help if you need it. If you don't have the support group, the friends, the family, there are people you can turn to, right? So this is if you're contemplating divorce. There's a lot of reflective questions in here. There's templates and checklists that you can use. I've weaved in some interviews from friends and colleagues so they could share some tips and triumphs that they experienced during their divorce. So you can hold on to this when you're thinking about, should you stay, should you go? Or even if you're facing it, like I was. I wanted something like this. This is why I wrote it. As I was looking for this when
Sounds like
I was
you thought
going
of
through my
everything.
own.
And we get to
I
talk
tried.
more about the book too, which is great. And, I'm wondering as you were writing it, what was maybe a thought of a takeaway that you wanted readers to get from your book or from the experience of reading it?
Yes, I wanted to help them plan for their
Okay.
divorce. I think it's very important to do that.
There you are.
Even if they're just contemplating.
Yes.
So
there's you with
I
your
love
book.
that
Yeah,
theory
that's picture
because
me.
it's like you could be in a situation where, kind of Dina just said, you're contemplating and you maybe aren't sure. So there's nothing wrong with stepping into a situation and evaluating it first. And maybe you don't proceed.
Right.
But
Maybe
it's
you don't
okay to
proceed.
take a step in and take a look at what that might look like financially,
Yes.
Right.
emotionally, spiritually, or all of the things,
the
and
above.
say, okay, you know what? Let's take a step back in and work on it first,
Yeah.
or whatever. And I love that you also take that perspective, and it's not just jump in and get divorced.
Yeah.
Right,
Right.
right, right.
Yeah, you really have to think about it and plan for it. I'm a big planner anyways. I'm a Capricorn. I don't know if that had anything to do
It
with
does.
that. Do you
It does.
think
We
so?
talked about that.
Yes, we talked about
My
this
sister
before.
is a Capricorn,
Yeah,
so
yeah.
totally planner.
Yeah, I'm a total planner.
Yes.
And I don't think you should just jump into the divorce arena
Sure.
without knowing
Sure.
what to expect or
Yeah.
without knowing your finances, right?
Yes.
because that's the most of it is about.
I
is
understand
your
that can really
finance.
blindside you.
Yeah.
It can blindside you. And just knowing for the first time while you're talking to an attorney or a mediator can be like devastating.
Yes.
Yeah.
So I'd like to know and kind of quickly discuss the symbolism of the doors in your book.
Yeah. So I felt like I wanted to display kind of that silver lining, right? You're going to walk in, and it might be a little dark for a little while, right? But you're going to walk through this door of the unknown, but eventually it's going to lead you to a path that's bright and beautiful.
Now that's the doors are in each chapter,
It's
right?
in each
okay,
chapter.
a new door for
There's
each
a different
chapter.
door to walk through.
There's a different door to walk through.
Which
And
is very
sometimes
cool.
it's contemplating which door should you go into, right? Should I choose door number 1 or door number 2? But there's doors of opportunities out there for
I
you.
love that. Doors of
That's a great
opportunity.
spin on things too, unlike the dating game. Remember that?
Well, you
little
know,
thing
I was
with
just thinking about that as
little
I was
game that we
saying.
played when we were kids. But
We just aged ourselves, right?
we did, but that's okay.
Yeah, that's
because
okay.
it
Price is right.
it brings that kind of not excitement, but I like that spin on things that you did with the doors, because I think people, that symbolism of opening doors is a positive. It's like, okay, I'm going, and each step brings you closer to your goal.
Your goal, yeah, whatever that happens to be.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay, we're going to a really important topic.
Yeah.
You know, how do you
Minimize the difficulty, right?
yeah, like I was going to try to reword that, but it's a hard thing to do. Minimize the impact that the divorce itself has on children.
Yeah.
I mean, you can't keep it from them.
You can't keep
Right.
it from them, but you can keep the adult conversations from them.
Yeah.
Yes.
You can
Yes.
reassure them that everything is going to be okay.
Yep.
And, you know, they're still going to have this great life. Maybe their situation might look a little different. And so I put in like parenting plans they could think about. How do you talk to the children? One of the great things that I feel Connecticut does is you have to take a parenting plan when you get divorced, a parenting
that
class.
course.
Yeah, the course. And it gives you a lot of
It
tips
is
and
good.
tricks of how to
Because I
handle
think
it.
you need to be open-minded, and sometimes you don't realize that you're not thinking of different things that maybe could be really helpful
Yes.
and flexible for your situation, because everybody's situation is different.
Yeah.
Right.
And staying in a marriage that isn't working is not going to help your children.
It's not.
Right.
It's displaying something that's like unhealthy, right? And you usually wouldn't want that for them.
Right. You don't want to model something that you would not want for your children. And then I think the other super important thing too is
Yes.
helping to minimize for the children is make sure you do not put them in the middle.
Definitely.
That conversations
Too much pressure.
are between the co-parents.
Yes.
And we do not have our children give a message or talk badly about the other parent.
Yes.
So those things are super important.
I loved that last one you said about not talking badly about the other parent because your children are part of that other person,
And they love
right? So it's
both-
almost like
and
you're
they
putting
love
them
both
down.
parents.
They do, yeah.
And they should,
They should,
because
yes.
it's important to have both in their life.
Thank you for bringing up the fact that Connecticut has that requirement. I don't know how many states do,
Yeah,
but
not a lot.
it truly, I feel, is important, because it's not that I think that parents don't know how to parent. All it is just kind of doing a reset.
Yeah. And parenting during divorce, right?
Yes.
Looks different and it will feel different than parenting when you're all in the same household.
And it gets
right?
you out of your own head too, because
Yeah.
I'm sure there's biases there while you're divorcing someone who you used to love and feel very differently about, right? So
And that grief, that anger might come out and you're upset with your soon-to-be ex.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
keep your kids at front of mind, right? When you're
Absolutely.
making these
Hey,
decisions.
Diane, I was wondering, and this is kind of a question for Shell, but I was wondering how maybe this also, if this played a part for you, is about the community.
Oh, yes, I had great community. My parents were very helpful, and all my friends were very helpful. And I mean, Shell, what's your take on it? I mean, I think that got me through it because people were supportive of my divorce.
Right. Yeah, it's very helpful. Not everyone has the support of family and friends, so that can sometimes make it tough. But you can meet new people that are going through something similar to you.
like support groups?
Like a support group, yep.
Or
That's
people who
very
are going
important.
through the same thing.
Yeah.
I know, Diane, you had shared with us your situation, and Shell, yours is probably very different.
Very different. than mine, yeah.
But the healing and moving on can look very different when you have to move from your community.
Yes.
And I think you had mentioned you had to move from your community,
Yes.
and that made it a little more difficult.
It did.
But
yeah.
but staying in the same community can also be difficult.
It can be, because you're still surrounded by the same things, and
Right,
you know, you're still in touch with your ex-spouse. There's some things you need to change, right, in order to kind of move on, right?
And all
Whether
of
you're
it's
just,
painful.
whether it's a marriage or even a relationship, right? People say to go no contact. So when you're leaving a relationship,
Yeah.
it's not something that most people can do when they leave a marriage, is go no contact, right?
Right.
So.
And then I think also some other community partners, players could be finding people who do like social activities
Yes.
that
Oh, that's
maybe you
very
would
important.
like to engage in that
Yeah.
just kind of takes you away from the heaviness of the divorce.
Right.
Because we can't be in that 24/7.
No.
And we need those opportunities to kind of feel other things and have joy.
Yeah.
And I love the counselor in you bringing that up too. Because it's,
I love
yeah,
that.
it's spot on.
Yeah.
It's like, yeah, it's something that I didn't think of. I'm just thinking, plugging into all these organized things that
Yeah.
are, here. And,
Yeah.
and relaxation and fun stuff and just,
Yes.
Go do something for yourself,
spontaneity
right?
is-
Go get a massage,
Yeah.
even though that's being alone, right? That can be helpful.
Yeah.
Joining a gym.
I'm looking at meetups.
Yeah, meetups is
All
yes.
kinds of activities and people you could meet that you may have similar interests with.
Yeah,
And, or maybe you've always wanted to try.
yeah.
See, there could be
Yeah,
all these
like
new
a-
beginnings.
Yeah, like do a pottery class or something like that, right? I love that you mentioned that because I think I wrote something about that in my book.
Yeah.
Like you can reach out on social media since we have it, right? Make it very useful.
Right.
Look for people who are going through something similar that you are and
Absolutely.
go grab coffee with them if it's something as simple as that, right? Go grab a lunch and get to know them.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And then you always find out that you have more in common than you think.
Right. Right.
Always happens.
Right.
Yes. Yeah.
Kind of back to the book.
Yes, we are back to the book. Something unique about your book is
Yeah.
that you have QR codes for worksheets. And this kind of blew my mind. I was like, that is brilliant. That
Oh,
is
thank
brilliant.
you.
Worksheets, and I'm not a worksheet kind of girl, but when you're talking about financial,
You will be when you see these worksheets. So
I will be, will I?
we have lots of pictures of worksheets. So I would love for you to quickly discuss the worksheets as they come up and tell us
Okay.
what it is and
Yeah.
because
How-
I was looking
why
through
it's
them and
helpful
how
or-
useful
yeah.
are these?
Yeah.
Can we
Yeah.
pull up the worksheets?
Okay, so that's a checklist, right? So it's a checklist for, I think, I can't read the screen, but I think it's a financial checklist. So all the documents that you should be gathering,
Oh, perfect.
prior to jumping into the divorce arena, right?
Okay.
The first thing you usually really need to do is gather your finances. So here's
Bank
some,
accounts,
yeah,
investments,
bank
things- yep.
accounts, yeah,
Yep.
IRAs,
Yeah.
retirement
If you can just roll
accounts.
through the worksheets and
Yep.
she can discuss them as they come up. This was, I think, 3 pages of all the same worksheet. 2 or
Yes.
3 pages.
Yeah.
So you can just, keep flipping through.
Yeah.
That's great.
And I love how there's, it's so organized.
Oh, thank you.
They're not scary worksheets.
No, they're not. And
No,
if
and they're
something
very
is scary,
useful.
don't use that one, right? If it looks intimidating.
No.
But there's even parenting plan worksheets in there. So
There,
you can,
there's one
think
that will
about.
come up.
Yeah.
We're showing some of the worksheets. I think you had 25.
Yes, I
And I
did.
was like, well, we can't show 25, but
Right.
let me just pull some, just so people
it.
get a
These are just
visual.
examples of just how you can get yourself organized.
Or how you can
Exactly.
get, yeah. And just
You know
so
what
you
I
know,
love
those
about
20
this too is that when you're going through divorce, you can't think like you're.
Exactly, or maybe
At
you
least
didn't
I
even
couldn't
think
think.
about
I was
everything.
in fear and I was overwhelmed and my child was 9 months old and had somebody shown me a form like this that I could just go through, that would have been a miracle. I would have loved it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
good.
Absolutely.
Yeah. I think I would have liked this too. Because
Yes.
your brain can be kind of foggy when you're going through this, right, Diane?
And it's very emotional. And
Yeah.
I love here's questions for your lawyer or your mediator.
Yes, I put in some, blank worksheets where you can fill out, even, I have some reflective questions throughout the book. You can use one of them to even just jot down what you're thinking.
I really
Yeah, I
think that
love those.
what you did is you kind of went back in time and said, this is what I needed
Yes.
when I was in that position, which is going to be so helpful for so many people.
Thank you.
And
Yeah.
and it's going to be a blessing for others. Let's share some final thoughts on
Yes.
this whole topic. I mean, we've talked about so much. What do you feel is the most important thing for you right now?
The most
And that you would say
Yeah.
to viewers.
Yeah, I would say it's never too late to get your finances in order. If someone's listening to this right now and be like, I don't even know where to start, well, start, maybe with one of my checklists, right? And kind of gathering it, kind of gives you an idea of where to start with. Because once you get into the divorce arena, somebody's going to be asking for those, that information. And you want to be able to provide it in the best possible way. And this will help you.
Even if you're not
Yeah.
considering it, or
No.
you're just kind of, like Diane said, I'm confused. I don't know where I am.
Yeah.
I'm in a different stage of life. It might be just a good idea to kind of
Yeah.
check your finances.
Yeah,
And
check
just
your
be like,
finances.
okay, now I kind of feel like have a place to start. I maybe should just talk to somebody about how to improve them or get them
Yes.
in order.
Yeah.
And then
Yes.
you just kind of feel a little bit better.
Yeah. And what I tried to do is try to make finances not so scary, right? They don't need to be scary. Most people they have a relationship with money, right? And it might be a scared view. So,
So we're down to our last
Last
minute.
minute.
Doesn't it fly?
it does fly. You told me that was going to
I
happen.
know, it
We
flies.
did.
And I
People
just,
find you. How do I find you?
Oh.
How do people?
Yes. So my company name is called Finding Strength with Shell. And you can find it, that's my website, Finding Strength with Shell. It's also Shell at findingstrengthwithshell.com. I know that's a long name, but you can find me there. Thank you for putting that up on
It's
the
actually
screen.
pretty easy. It flows.
yeah.
Which is good.
Yeah.
Had I known when I started the business that I was going to be giving this out a lot,
Yeah.
Book it down a
It
little
definitely
That's great.
flows. So
And I'm just wondering, could we wrap up with a picture also of her book? Because I would love people to see a close-up of the book if we have it, because I think we do.
There we
You
go.
did.
There it is.
Yeah.
I'd love
Thank you.
people to be able to see what it
and
looks
that's
like.
the last door to the outside.
Yes.
I love that.
was,
Excellent.
yeah, that was my intention. Yeah,
Well,
it's
thank
going
you
to be bright.
so much for being here, being with us today,
Yes.
and being able to share a topic that affects so many people, 41%
Yeah.
of
yeah. And it gets higher as you
people.
go through like second and third marriages too. So,
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, thank you.
And I love
Yes.
that you had a silver lining through the whole thing. The book, the experience, you
Yes.
turned it into a silver lining.
Yeah, it really was a gift to me. I wouldn't have this business if I didn't go through this. I wouldn't have this book, and I wouldn't be here with you ladies. So
Awesome.
I'm very happy.
Yes.
Yeah.
And remember, always look for the silver linings.
Silver lining.